Hello there, July here again. If you look at the name of this video, then you might wonder why I would make a video to explain what skillers are. Well, here is why. I'm in this RuneScape group on Facebook, and I recall two moments when some people began to discuss the meaning of the word skiller. Some people said that being a skiller means that you cannot do combat at all. Then others said, wait, that's wrong, you can do combat and your combat level doesn't matter. So clearly there's a lot of confusion about what it really means, so I'll resolve that in this video. Now before I proceed, it's important to stress that this is not a matter of opinion. Historically, there is one correct answer, and there's plenty of evidence for that. So the main reason for making this video is first and foremost because as a RuneScape history educator, I care about clarifying the game's history. But a second reason is that I use the words skiller and skilling quite a lot in my PDF documentary about the history and development of RuneScape. So it's important for myself as well that I explain somewhere what I mean when I use the word skiller. Let me tell you a little about myself first, and yes, this is relevant. From 2008 until 2013, I used to be part of the high-level skilling community, first as part of the clan Divination, and you can see in this screenshot of the Jagex Clan Cup results why it was the best skilling clan of the RuneScape 2 era, and then later as part of Divine Skillers, which was also a high-level clan. If you asked any member of any top skilling clan in any era what the word skiller implied, they would say that skillers can train combat too, and as much as they like to. I actually still remember a discussion I had around 6 to 7 years ago with other clan members about why people seem to think that skillers cannot do combat. That was something that baffled all of us. So a skiller can train combat, and let's now look at some more historical evidence for that. In RuneScape 2, you had this trinity of high-level skilling clans that stood out. Those three clans were by far the best skilling clans of the game. And then I'm talking about the clans Divination, Supreme Skillers, and Skillers United. Notice the term skiller in two of these names, and Divination called themselves a skilling clan too. Now back in the day, before the existence of the in-game clan system, many clans used to use this website called RuneHead to compile member lists and to keep track of the stats of their players. One thing mentioned there was the average combat level. Now if we look at the three clans that I've just mentioned, then we see for Divination that the average combat level was more than 136. For Skillers United we see close to 135 as average combat level, and for Supreme Skillers that's a combat level of more than 135 out of 138. Then we also look at Divine Skillers and there's a combat level of 133, so that's also high. All top skilling clans had a very high average combat level. In fact, almost always did their members have level 99 in the melee skills and in constitution. Furthermore, all top skilling clans have always identified as being skillers despite having a very high combat level as well. So the fact that all top skilling clans describe themselves as skillers in spite of their high average combat level, and that across multiple clans and across multiple years, is quite solid evidence to support the statement that skillers can train combat as much as they like to. But there is more. There is another type of evidence too, which is a spin-off of the ontological proof. The ontological proof says that the existence of the word proves the existence of the concept. Now before I continue, that's definitely not always true. For example, ghosts or spirits, the graviton in theoretical physics, and a link between vaccines and autism, none of which have been proven to exist. A spin-off of that ontological proof can be used in the skiller debate as well, and it's as follows. So you have a pure skiller and a level 3 skiller, and these are terms that actually exist in RuneScape. Pure means 100%. If something is pure gold, it's 100% gold. So a pure skiller is 100% skilling or non-combat. Then you also have a level 3 skiller, which essentially comes down to the same thing. You keep your combat stats at level 1 so that your combat level is level 3. Now the question that you need to ask is, if the term skiller implies that the person has combat level 3, then why do the terms pure skiller and level 3 skiller even exist? Because if the term skiller implies having no combat stats, then the words pure and level 3 are completely redundant because 100% non-combat is automatically implied. A better and clearer example would be you have a car and you have a red car. If all cars were red, there would be no need to call something a red car because you know that axiomatically speaking, the car must be red. If someone then told you about their car, and it's a car that you've never seen before, then you would automatically know that it's a red car, so the word red is redundant because all cars are red per definition. In reality, the only reason why we specify the color is because there are cars with other colors too. The same thing is going on here. The only reason why we specify the type of skiller, and then I mean pure skiller or level 3 skiller, is because there are other types of skillers too. What this comes down to is that the word skiller is essentially an umbrella term that encompasses a variety of skillers. More specifically, a skiller can be a level 3 skiller, but it can also be an all-round skiller with high combat stats. Perhaps look at it like this. All level 3 skillers are skillers, but not all skillers are level 3 skillers. Likewise, all-round skillers with high combat stats are skillers, but not all skillers are all-round skillers with high combat stats. A real-life example would be, all birds are animals, but not all animals have the ability to shit on your head. So level 3 skillers and all-round skillers are just two types of skillers, and they therefore both fall under the umbrella term of skiller, which means that both can refer to themselves as skillers, and that the term is not exclusive to skillers with no combat stats. Now you might wonder, if someone has max combat, then what exactly makes them a skiller? Well, that's a good question, but the answer is very simple. It all comes down to your preferences. Do you like non-combat activities more than combat activities? Well, then you're a skiller. For example, I maxed my total level for the first time in 2011. That includes combat stats, but I have always referred to myself as a skiller. Why? Because I dislike combat and I strongly prefer non-combat activities. For example, back in the day, I did level 75, 99 runecrafting in one sitting of 2 months, and that by using nature runes, which many people dreaded doing at that time. RuneSpan didn't exist yet. My 99 Slayer, on the other hand, I gave up on that maybe 5 or 6 times, and I even did the last 3 million Slayer XP by using ancient effigies, just because I disliked combat so much. So even though I did train combat, that doesn't mean that I'm not a skiller. It all comes down to what you like doing the most. Do you prefer non-combat skills? Well, then you're a skiller. It's as simple as that. So just to summarize everything, it is wrong to say that skillers must have combat level 3 or very low combat stats in general, but it is correct to say that level 3 skillers are skillers and that people with high combat stats can be skillers too. The word skiller is an umbrella term that includes various types of skillers, and you can distinguish between these types of skillers by looking at the specifier. For example, pure is a specifier, level 3 is a specifier, all round is a specifier, and there is no reason to think why this should be fixed terminology. If you want to refer to yourself as a level 50 skiller or a hybrid skiller and give it your own meaning, go ahead. In the end, the only definition that truly matters is that a skiller is anyone who prefers skilling to combat regardless of stats, and that is also the definition that the skilling clan world has adopted ever since skilling became more popular early in RuneScape 2. So in the end, it is absolutely not a matter of opinion, as evidenced by both the game's history and by that spin-off of the ontological proof. I hope that you enjoyed my video and that the term skiller is a lot clearer now. Just to repeat, the term skiller is essentially an umbrella term for different types of skillers, including level 3 skillers and all-round skillers with high combat stats. It all comes down to whether you prefer combat or non-combat. So who are you? Are you a skiller or a non-skiller? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. I am July and I hope that you will come back for more.